So that was one heck of a season finale, wasn't it? I mean, seriously, okay, spoilers, okay, just spoilers out the wazoo, of course. Spoilers coming out of the GD walls. All right. Okay. That was a terrific season finale. To be honest, I'm not sure I know any more about Severance than when I started the episode, but I'm not sure I care. That was a stressful and intense experience. It was a mad apocalyptic showdown between Lumen and the Innies. It's been a heck of a season, really, and I must say I am in love with this show. It's coming very close to supplanting like long-standing favorites like Lost. Really, I think this season of Severance was easily better than the first, which I adored. Don't get me wrong; I was very enthralled with the characters, and I still am. But we have even more weirdo additions to the cast who I love. Unlike, say, a show like Yellow Jackets, for instance, there isn't really a character or characters who I really dislike, if that makes any sense. There are villains in Severance. Don't get me wrong, and these villains who I am rooting against, but it's also kind of a treat to see them on screen. Nevertheless, I think most notably, especially for this season, Mr. Drummond was just a great, incredible antagonist for this season. This monstrous, borderline psychopath. He just seems so dangerous and cold. Like you could feel his repressed anger and his hostility throughout the season. And it finally exploded when he came face to face with Mark S. Or yeah, I think it was Mark S. And not to be confused with Mark Scout, the Audi. Um, yeah, no, it was Mark S. at the time, and a brutal throwdown. Probably the bloodiest and most gruesome this show has ever gotten so far. Um, but I'm telling you, just seeing all that play out and seeing how Lumen had somehow managed to capture Gemma Scout and sever her and then make these separate personalities within her is very fascinating to me. I definitely want to know what they were getting at there. I'm not sure why they're doing this, but since James Egan himself, the current CEO of Lumen, is like watching over the process, the final test, uh, I think it implies that they're doing something very important, very very dramatic, and possibly something related to Kier himself. I think personally, judging by some of the cryptic things Jay Megan has said, and in this episode in particular, but also in the past, I think they might be trying to perfect the severance process, possibly using Gemma as a guinea pig before turning to Helena, perhaps, um, who has also been just a fantastic character. I, I'm not going to say antagonist because I think more and more she's sort of a protagonist in this, and she's obviously trapped and unhappy with her life. And I think the twist with the Glasgow block was excellent, by the way. A great mid-season way to shake things up a bit. But I think she's being groomed to be a vessel, maybe, for the consciousness of Kier. That's the best theory I can come up with as to why they'd be working with the sort of blank slate severance procedure, the sort of wall to keep the emotions out and all that. I think they are maybe trying for some sort of rebirth of Kier situation. That's the best I've got at the moment. But yeah, I don't think Helena is going to be happy with that. I don't think she's going to go along with it. And maybe she'll switch sides at some point, just especially when I believe that she is pregnant with Mark's child. Um, I think she kind of has to be. And I think that she knows. I don't think Helly knows, but I think Helena does. After all, she did want Mark to meet her father, and she was acting just in general really weird at the diner. She was really working to get Mark on her side, um, but also like I mean, meanwhile, I think Cobell is up to something. I'm so glad to see her, and to be honest, I was a little let down with how little she was in this season. But man, does she do a lot with the time that she's given. Um, Patricia Arquette, of course, being just incredible in the role as always. But I actually liked her little episode in Salt's Neck, right? A little diversion of sorts. I thought it was fun, and I don't think it's too out of the blue to find out that she invented Severance. I think it actually explains quite a lot, especially about her obsessions with the innies and about like her sort of fascination with the idea of reintegration and all. Um, I don't think she's a good person, of course. I think she's still a villain for sure, just possibly with motivations that for now are aligned with those of our heroes. And by the way, Mark's weird little video discussion with himself was awesome, brilliantly directed, and regarding their own discussion of reintegration, uh, I'm just going to bring up that it seemed like Petey was much more inny Petey than outy Petey, at least when he met Mark in the outside. So I think it could be possible that there is maybe an even split somehow between the much smaller, less experienced innie consciousness and the larger outie consciousness, but I I don't know for certain. I'm not a scientist, and I'm not sure any of the people at Lumen are either. I think it's more like alchemy or magic or something. Um, Speaking of, I cannot explain the goat. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a literal severancy cloning scientific procedure going on with the goat sacrifice, or if there's just a symbolic ritual thing going on. Um, I like to think that there's some pseudosciency stuff at work here, but also the cult ritual behavior would fit for Lumen and also open some interesting doors and possibilities in the future. Um, God, so much happened in this season. I'm not going to be able to talk about it all. I simply cannot. But I can I can only mention things that I found interesting from Woe's Hollow and that entire adventure to and the let's face it the very batcrap crazy theory that some people have that Mark is a long lost relative of the Egans, which is gross and weird and bonkers. Uh, but also we have stuff like how Irving just disappeared from the season, sort of, and that really worries me because it feels like he might have left the show. Uh, so that unsettles me because I very much like the character of Irving. Um, by the way, sort of related to Irving, I'm going to mention that Bert, uh, he has a former partner, right? You know how John Noble's character slipped up and mentioned how Bert had been working with a partner at Lumen before Severance was even a thing. Um, I personally think that partner was Cobell, and I think they worked together to create Severance. There's not a lot of evidence to support that, so it's just really it's just headcanon at this point. But I like the idea of it, and it's possible. I'm not sure how that ties into Bert being like an assassin or an enforcer. That could be that could just be Irving getting things wrong a little bit, but I don't know. Um, and I guess one more thing. Uh, Gwendolyn Christie is in this, and she beat the crap out of Drummond, and I'm just going to say that was awesome. I'm always happy to see Gwendolyn Christie in anything, really. Brienne, she's awesome. I'm, for that matter, I'm going to tell my children that this was Brienne of Tarth versus the Hound, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. Um, so, okay, I thought of one more thing. One more thing before I go. And that's where are what are Mark and Helly going to do now? Right? What is they've saved Gemma and got her safe-ish. But they're trapped in Lumen, and Milchick's still around. I honestly don't know what they're doing, where they're running, why they're running, for that matter, where they're running to. Um, I don't know, but it made for a neat ending. And I'm just curious, are they gonna like hunker down on the severed floor for a while until Jay Megan has them like rooted out using some sort of secret police or something? Or maybe they have a plan that we haven't thought of, we haven't been privy to. Um, I mean, who knows? Maybe Milchick will have a change of heart at the last minute. I mean, he's definitely not necessarily happy with Lumen at this point in time. He's not happy with Dylan and Tim either, but yeah, I don't know. So it's a possibility. Yeah. So yeah, that's Severance season 2. Give me more and soon. Please do not make me wait another 10 years or however long it was. Please and thank you. So yeah. Bye.